the world's most modern and chaotic city.
Yet amidst all this chaos with the modern world, you can find a little piece of the past at virtually every turn.
There's only one city in the world where within an hour you can go from this to this to this.
Welcome to Taipei, Taiwan!
Taiwan's capital and largest city lies in the north of the island, about 13 miles inland from the coast. The city sits in a valley on the banks of the Tamsui and Keelong rivers and is surrounded on all sides by rugged mountains. The city is divided into several districts, each with its own unique charm and attractions. I'll be visiting 5 of its largest. I'll begin my journey in Zhongzheng, home to the city's most iconic landmarks. I'll then visit the trendy Ximen district before heading to the Taipei Eye to attend a traditional performance by the Beijing Opera. Next, I'll explore the Datong district, home to many of the city's temples and historic sites. I'll then make a brief visit to Jinyi to visit the city's most famous skyscraper. From there, I'll travel to Wenshan on the city's outskirts to catch the Maokong gondola to the spectacular Longshan Temple. I'll conclude my journey back in Zhongzheng. With a population of nearly 8.5 million people, Taipei is one of the largest and fastest growing cities in Asia. Since 1949, it has served as the island's capital, and over the decades it has grown to become one of the world's safest and most technologically advanced cities. But despite its 21st century innovations, the city has still managed to preserve much of its traditional customs and architecture. My journey begins in the beating heart of Taipei City, the city's Zhongzheng district.
I've just checked into my hotel room in Taipei, and there was a bit of a mix-up with my reservation, mainly because the name of the hotel I saw online is different than the actual name of the hotel. But everything is all good now. Taipei is actually really famous for its puppetry, which includes these famous puppet TV shows. They're really popular here on the island.
Puppetry is the one art form that's truly Taiwanese, and the first puppet TV show actually aired on the island in the 70s. And apparently it was so popular that the government actually had to ban it because people were skipping school and work to go watch it. So puppetry is a really big deal over here.
This is Taipei's Zhongzheng district where we're staying, and it's named after Chiang Shek because the name Zhongzheng was actually the original Chinese name of Chiang Shek. All throughout Taipei, you're going to see people riding these mopeds. That shouldn't come as a surprise because Taipei actually has more mopeds per capita than any other city in the world. Most tourism to Taiwan actually comes from other Asian countries. Although there are over 400,000 Americans who come here per year, the majority of the Americans who come here are Americans of Taiwanese descent. So this is still not a country that very many foreigners travel to. by the Japanese in 1919, and since 1950 it has been serving as the office of the Taiwanese president. Before it became the office of the president, this building had several reparations done on it because it was severely damaged during World War II.
Today is the finest example of colonial architecture in the city.
Here are all the rules on how you have to behave in Taipei's parks. This beautiful park right here is the Jieshou Park. This beautiful park we're right now is called the 228 Peace Memorial Park.
The park was renamed in 1998 to commemorate the 50,000 Taiwanese who lost their lives in the infamous February 28th incident of 1947, in which 50,000 protesters against the Kuomintang government were killed by police.
United States, in places like San Francisco, but seeing them here in Asia where this architecture originated is something completely different. Behind me you can see the park's most famous attractions, the National Taiwan Museum. It was founded in 1908, making it the oldest museum on the island.
Built in a neoclassical style, the museum showcases various artifacts which are uniquely Taiwanese, which include exhibits on the island's geology, ecosystems, and some of the world's most strangest artwork.
Here we have some beautiful jade carvings. That one is actually famous for its jade.
We have a giant jade sword right here. Right here we have some carvings of important Taoist imagery. Right here we have some cool rocks that were found on the island. Some more jade art. Right here we have these really cool gypsum carvings.
Right here we have some cut manganese, and artists actually painted some trees on it in the sunset.
More landscapes painted on stone slabs.
That's so not true. This has to be the most famous tourist attraction in all of Taiwan, the Chiang Memorial Park, and there's these 4 different traditional Chinese structures on it. Behind me we have this beautiful gate. Over there we have the concert hall. Over there we have the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial itself. And right over here we have the National Theater. Now the theater and concert hall were constructed in 1987. That impressive structure you see behind me over there is dedicated to the first and longest serving president of the Republic of China. That leader was Chiang Shek. And this impressive memorial hall opened on April 5th, 1980, the 5th anniversary of the leader's death. Two sets of stairs, each with 89 steps to represent his age at the time of his death, lead to the main entrance and the statue of the leader himself. You know, there's actually a changing of the guard ceremony that takes place here every hour, so we're gonna stick around. The next one should be in about 15 minutes.
我们要交接了 ，Please behind the red light，麻烦请退到后方。
你转过来，来，快点，你转过来，你转过来，来。哎，你留下来，留下来。
Chiang Kai-shek was born October 31st, 1887 in Fenghua, China. Following the death of Sun Yat-sen, he became the leader of the Chinese Nationalist Party. A strong opponent of communism, he purged them during the infamous Shanghai Massacre of April 1927, which helped kickstart the Chinese Civil War a few months later. In 1937, at the onset of the Second Sino-Japanese War, he was kidnapped by one of his own generals who obligated him to fight alongside his communist enemies. After the surrender of the Japanese in 1945, an attempt to negotiate a coalition government failed, and in 1946 the Chinese Civil War resumed. After being defeated by the communists in 1949, him and his supporters were exiled to Taiwan, which they proclaimed as the Republic of China, while the communists proclaimed the People's Republic of China on the mainland. Chiang Kai-shek died on April 5, 1975, but his political party, the Kuomintang Party, is still the second largest in the country. Though most Taiwanese today regard him as a revolutionary hero, he has been criticized for his implementation of martial law and the persecution of his critics in what would come to be known as White Terror. Today, the Chiang Kai-shek Museum offers visitors a glimpse into the life of one of Asia's most iconic leaders.
Here are replicas of some of Chiang Kai-shek's favorite foods. Chiang Kai-shek's favorite car. Chiang Kai-shek's second favorite car.
Here are some of his war medals.
Here's some of his clothing. Here's some of his formal clothing. Oh, what's my hat doing there? Yeah, good taste.
Here we have some sofas from one of his guest homes. part of his private antique collection.
Check these out. These may look like some sort of decoration vases, but they're actually trash cans.
Brought some traditional pork chow mein and traditional Chinese dumplings back to my hotel. I'm gonna give them a try. I actually read that the current mayor of Taipei has been trying to promote tourism, and one of the things he did is set up these sightseeing buses for tourists.
This impressive building behind me is Taipei's most famous temple and also one of its oldest. It's the Longshan Temple, and it was built in 1738 during the reign of the Chiang dynasty, and it honors the Buddhist goddess of mercy, Ximen. Although originally built for Buddhist worship, these days taoist gods such as Matsu and Guan Yu are worshipped here as well. This temple was actually bombed by American forces after receiving reports that Japanese soldiers were allegedly hiding weapons inside this temple. So the current temple we see today was actually rebuilt after World War II. This is the Bopiliao Historic District, and it contains restored buildings from the Chiang and Japanese periods. About this pork bun dumpling.
It seems almost anywhere you go in the world these days, you'll find some variant of the Mexican taco, and Taipei is no exception. I stumbled upon this pork taco stand right here, though here in Taipei, tacos are referred to as burgers.
一个人的扑克的正前方，后面的是你拿着你的手机偷偷录的。 记得回家再看3遍才叫过瘾。我整首歌都准备站在这里上演，他们说的是谁走得上瘾？你看看这是多么让人伤心。我表演如此专心，但对于面的地都全部在我手机，他们根本没有在听。没有想上你的迷彩裤，难道的声音会比招呼？我保持我的态度，你闭嘴还能摸摸你的鼻子。
This is Zhongzheng district's famous Ximen Street. It's sort of the main shopping and entertainment center of this neighborhood. This place is also home to one of Taipei's many night markets. There are about 100 in the city. Right at around 6 o'clock, these street vendors start coming out selling food, and this can go on till as late as 2 a.m. in some night markets. So we're gonna stick around and wait till it gets dark and check out the nighttime atmosphere. all the street vendors packed up and left for some reason.
Jak szybko, widziałeś jak szybko? Ale zobacz jak szybko. Patrz jak oni szli, teraz będą wyciągać. Zobacz, teraz nagraj.
Out here you can see East Asia's famous neon lights. Night markets like this are the most popular places to eat in Taipei. You can get street food for as little as $2 a piece, so that's why a lot of people flock to these markets at night. And historically they popped up around temples, because what would happen was people would go to the temple to worship, then street hawkers would wait for them outside the temple selling food, and then it sort of just grew into these traditional night markets. A word of warning: when you first enter these markets, you're immediately overcome with the smell of stinky tofu. And from my experience, it can smell either like diarrhea or sweaty socks.